Little black book, you know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are giving you guys again, ask your dilemma, ask your relationship issues, ask a man in 2022. Listen, we're talking to you guys about relationships, dating, divorce, marriage, all that kind of stuff. This is an opportunity for you guys to come on here like we did the other night. Come on here and ask your questions. I know, ladies, a lot of times, sometimes, it gets to a point where, there's some things that are happening and you know what? You don't understand what's going on, or maybe you do and you want a soundboard. This is the time just to ask your questions. You do not have to come on camera. You don't have to show your face. But I've put a link in the chat and I'm going to actually put this on so you guys actually can pin it so you guys can come aboard and say your pieces. But, we want to hear your dilemmas. What are they? What's your issues? Do you have something to say about men? Do you want to ask a question? This is the time to do so, okay? And it's a safe space. This is not about hurt, trying to insult anybody or trying to pin men against women. No. This is a safe space where you can come, we'll tell the truth, but we also want to be able to have a good conversation and make sure that you're also being well taken care of emotionally in this space. So this is not a Kevin Samuel space. It's not a Mansfield space. It's not that kind of space. This is a space where we are all going to be friendly. The chat's going to be friendly. We're all going to get along. We're all going to appreciate one another. We're all going to love one another. And if you can't do that, you have to get out. And in fact, let me put it on subscriber mode because some people out here will come into this chat and chat doo-doo. And I haven't got time for it, okay? All right? So without much further ado, let's get into the show. Let me grab some water first and foremost because my mouth is dry. All right, cool stuff. Beautiful stuff. All right, cool. Let me just put this on subscriber mode and we actually will get the show going because, we only got 2 hours here, guys. The maximum 2 hours, okay? So we've got subscriber mode straight on as well, okay? So subscribers got to be on. All right, beautiful stuff. All right. There we go. Okay, cool. So, all right, no violence chosen today. No violence. All right, cool. So, is this a weekly thing? I will be doing it weekly. I probably think it'll be Tuesdays and Sundays. I'll probably do it. It's the most easiest time for me to do it, to do this 2 hour segments as well. But more than likely, it'll be Tuesdays. It'll be easier for me on Tuesday night. So, let's get it popping, whopping, get it going. And on that note, I'm going to bring my first, obviously, dilemma to the table, because, I like to go through Reddit. I like to see different things on Reddit, and they always give me some kind of dilemmas to work through, okay? And so I'm going to bring my favorite festive Reddit to the table. Let's get this popping in here. Let's get it popping in here. All right, let me get my music back on slightly because it's good to have a bit of background noise. Fantastic. All right, got the music back again. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's just read this particular Reddit post here. It says, how do I tell my boyfriend I don't want kids? Chase. How do you tell your partner that you don't want kids? Well, first and foremost, why are they even in the relationship if you don't want kids? You understand? Why are you in a relationship if you don't want kids? You know what I mean? Like, you're already starting on the wrong foot. No one's there. You're already starting on the wrong foot if you want to. Let me put this there. Come join the panel and ask questions. Ask your questions, okay? All right, cool. Guys, don't be afraid, Come through. We want you guys to come through and ask your questions. You want to ask the men some questions? This would be a great time, okay? So, the dilemma says, hi, me and my boyfriend are both 20 and are very happy together, but there's one issue he really wants. Kids, a huge family since he has a huge family, siblings of 6. Meanwhile, I don't want kids. I've tried telling him I don't want kids, but he just says, I'll be there to help you. I love him very much and don't want to break up, and I'm scared this will lead to the end of the relationship. I just don't ever want to be a mother. Some people are born to be a mother and some aren't. I can barely look after myself. Even if I was to lie and say I don't want to be a mother until 30 due to we are so young, that doesn't solve the issue. I just don't know what to do. Ooh, could anyone help? Please give me some advice on how to handle this situation. My God. Hey. Awesome God, how great thou art. Update. I told him and he was willing to stand by me without kids. I don't want to hold him back with his future with kids since I know it means so much to him. It would have been cruel on my behalf, so I broke up with him. Thanks to everyone who responded. I appreciate it very much. I mean, to be honest, that's where I thought she was going to go, because that's where I was going to go. Okay? I was going to go there. So, Jay, that is not it. No one's asking for a biggest and open relationship. Crazy homebody girl said, I told my boyfriend I don't want kids and he don't mind. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Okay. And I need some more context to that crazy homebody girl. What does that mean? What's the story behind that? I'd love to know a little bit more about that. Okay, but in all honesty, I mean, in this particular instance, this should have been spoken about before we got to the relationship end. Am I lying? Come on, guys. These are the kind of things where you speak about from the very beginning. You don't wait until the end, you don't wait to these things come up in a relationship. You should be discussing this from the very beginning, you know. But I guess obviously when you're young, you know, maybe this is one of the questions that you probably wouldn't think to yourself to ask because you're young. You know, you're still growing, you know, you're still trying to live life. Maybe kids are not even on your mind at that point in time. But I remember when I was 20, you know, we discussed it, you know, with my girlfriend at the time. We discussed it. Do you want kids or not? You know, we discussed that kind of thing because, you know, everybody wants to see where people are at. People want to know where they're going. And even at 20, maybe we didn't want to have kids right then and there. Whew, I think to myself sometimes, thank God I never had kids at that point in time. But I thought about it. You know, even though I didn't have kids at that particular point in time, at least we knew that we both wanted kids, which means we can continue the journey together. You should never waste time. And I mean, when I say time, waste relationship time, you know, staying in a relationship like this, where both of you don't have the same vision, the same goals. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, it's you can't do this alone. You know, you both need to be agreeing like this is the direction you want to go into. You know, so yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, she was 20, she's young, she's got a whole life ahead of her, he's got his whole life ahead of him. He may be thinking about kids right now, and maybe that's where he wants to go. Then if that's the case, he needs to find another 20-year-old who's on joint, who's also on that same smoke, because unfortunately she doesn't seem to be on that same wavelength, and rightly so. As she updated us, she is going to be single, and I think that is the correct measure of form to do. Sometimes you want to waste your time, and because you're in love, you care about the person, you know, you're really in deep, you want this to work, you know what I mean, like, I just need this to work. You know, we spent so much time you know, invested in this relationship, but let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. It's a lot, you know, it's a lot, but you should come to the same perspective here. And just for anybody out there who might be listening to this, it is tough, right? I'm not gonna lie to you, it is tough quitting. You know, it is tough quitting, and actually, I would say it's tough quitting and leaving a relationship because you care about the person and they haven't done anything physically wrong. I get that. You know, they haven't done anything physically wrong. They haven't been rude to you. They haven't cheated on you. They haven't hurt your feelings. I get it. I get it. It's tough to leave that relationship, but it's for the betterment of yourself long term. And the longer you leave it, the more hurt you're probably going to be in the long run because you're dragging it out. You know, so yeah, she made the right decision. Can't lie to you, she made the right decision. Anybody out there going for the same thing, you know, you should leave it alone. Okay, you should leave it alone. Exit the relationship. You will find somebody else. I can't promise that, but you'll find somebody else. Okay, all right. Can't promise it, but you'll find somebody else. All right, cool. All right, cool. Now we've done that. Well, I guess scenario one. If you're on board, guys, if you have any dilemmas, anything you want to ask, dating questions 2022, this is the time. There's a link in the chat. I've pinned it up for you guys already, so you can come on, ask your questions. You can come and join the live. Okay, all right, you can come and join the live, and you can say your piece. Okay, all right, what questions or dilemmas you have. All right, this is the time to ask a man. Ask me whatever your questions are, whatever your thoughts are. Come and ask me those questions. Okay, all right. In the meantime, I'm gonna go to my second scenario in between this as well. Okay, in the meantime, but listen, jump aboard. If you've got a question you want to ask me, or you want to say something, you do not have to cam up, so you can just come ask your question behind the screens, and we'll answer as well. If you want a little bit of coaching, come take advantage of my services right now. I'm giving it for free a little bit, just a little bit of coaching, just a little bit. All right, let's go to my second thing I want to go to as well now. I want to go to my second part as well. All right. All right. I see that, Jay. I see a question. Lola. Love you too, Lola. Our second dilemma. Okay, our second dilemma. Let me get the music going a little bit. Boy. Alright. Second dilemma. Men, if your girlfriend is finishing a marathon, accepting an award, walking the runway to close out the collection that she designed, or taking a moment to celebrate any big individual accomplishment that she worked hard for, this is not the time to propose to her. Who agrees? Who disagrees? I just want to hear your thoughts, guys. Who agrees with this, guys? I want to know who agrees with this, who disagrees with this, guys. Huh? Who would like to be proposed to when they're on the runway? Who would like to be proposed to? Okay, at their fashion collection design. Who would like to be? Yeah. Who would like to be proposed to on the end of their marathon to be proposed to? I want to know. What's your thoughts to this? Lade Ola said this depends on the woman. Okay. Kia says let her have her moment. Empress K says fall back, homie. Okay. All right. Someone said, okay, are you getting married at second? Because if not, I don't see the big issue unless the explicitly says she didn't want that. Okay. So I guess the proposal, not a marriage, but a proposal. Someone said it's selfish as F. You better know she ready though. Okay, so I'm hearing this. Okay, cool. I hear the thoughts. To be honest, guys, I think in this instance, you know what? The first and foremost safest bet is always to ask your partner where they would and wouldn't like to be proposed to. Yeah? When and wouldn't you want to be proposed to? Right? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Do you want it to be that way? Right? I think that's the safest bet. Do not let social media dictate to you the rules. Do you understand? Don't let social media dictate to you the rules. Because your partner may want it. Your partner may want all the glitz and all the glamour and all the smoke. Okay? Your partner may want you to propose at the end of the runway and outshine every woman there. She may want that. But it depends on your partner. Right? So it's not a hard, fast rule. It's your partner. Right? And I'll say this as well. Because we as men are proposing, there is no equivalent. Right? There is no flip. Oh, what if a woman was to propose to you? There is none of that. There is no example of that. This is simply about your preference. Whether you want to be proposed to at the end of a runway or not. Let me just taste my hot chocolate. Slapping differently. Okay? That's the key question. Does she want to be proposed to at the end of a finishing line. You're gonna get a little ASMR. Does she want to be proposed to? And I think that's and someone else said it as well. Second of all, would the woman decline or accept the question? That's the key question. Will she accept or will she decline? If you know, and this is another thing I don't like, Mandem specifically, I wanted to say this as well. If you know, listen, it's manipulative when you know she wouldn't, when you know she's not ready to accept your marriage proposal, and then you propose in public. It's manipulative. Yeah, it's manipulative. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's manipulative. You get what I'm saying? Very manipulative. So, madam, let's not do that. Yeah? You know that she's not on it. Do not do a public proposal trying to now, like, get her to change her mind. It's manipulative. Because you know that in public, she has to say yes. That's ridiculous. You get it? But if she says she likes that kind of stuff, go ahead and do it. If she likes it, go ahead and do it. If she likes it, go ahead and do it. Yeah, if she likes that, go ahead and do it. As for me, I don't really like the public stuff. I don't like the whole, like in UK, we have the London Bridge. My lip is all shiny now. I see people doing engagement all the time by London Bridge. I don't want to do London Bridge. I don't want to be on London Bridge proposing. I don't want to be there. Okay? I don't want to be there. All right? I don't even, me personally, I don't even want to do the proposal in front of people like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't even like that. Sorry, Tower Bridge, you're right. You're right, babe. Yes, Future did that. Future definitely did that. Manipulative. I personally, I wanted just me and you, maybe a little dinner or something, or a little, something that's personal to us. You know, something that's personal to us, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw my boy did, yeah. I saw my boy did, it was powerful, man. He did it for like, maybe like 10 of us. But the way he did it, man, I gotta shout him, man. His thing was lit. Took it to a nice, okay, so basically where the city I'm in right now, this is where he came to, right? He had us in this nice hotel at the top of the hotel. Yeah, top of the hotel. And you know, it's got a sexy view, the hotel. It's like a glass at the top, and you can view the whole city. Beautiful. We were obviously waiting in one room. It was like 10 of us waiting in a room. And he had a photographer, he had a video cam person, and we basically, when she obviously thought she was coming to like an overnight stay and, you know, a spa date, blah 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 blah. She gets into the hotel, and obviously we're waiting in the other room. She goes into this other little room. There's a big ass TV in there, and it's a video of him talking about their past and what they've been through, with video clips and this and that, this and that. There's a like a treasure hunt with it as well. I said, this boy really went in. I said, you know, but I like that though, bro. Like, it's not a big spectacle, but like, she's always gonna remember that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and for me, when I saw that, I said, bro, well done. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be in, you know, and that's obviously his thing. For me personally, I don't want 10 million people watching the thing. I'm not invested in trying to put out a video and put it out to the rest of the world. I know everybody might want to say, oh, but I want to see what you, no, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I don't care about the audience enough to be putting up my wedding. I don't care. I like it intimate. I like it close. You know what I mean? I like it small. I just like a few people that are hand people. Those very people in the same room, I know that if you are there, if my marriage is failing, I can go to each one of you and say, help me, and you'll help me. You know what I mean? Like, from forevermore, for that situation, I always remember that day where he proposed. Yeah, I was bawling. I ain't gonna lie, I was crying. I was probably crying. And if I tell the rest of you guys are gonna start laughing at me again. Because that's the same day that let me not say it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So honestly, for me, the whole date thing, yeah. I mean, not date, the proposal thing. Let's keep it minuscule. I don't want to do too much. I'm doing too big. Okay. Okay. So just a little. You know, when you go onto Twitter, you have to be careful, right? Look at this. Look at someone's post underneath, or I should say, reply underneath that post. The person was like, the whole waiting for a man to propose is really sexist. In my opinion, getting married should be decided by both of them. It's not just up to men to decide when it's time to get married. You know, when people do these think pieces that are very woke. Okay. Baby, marriage is for both people. We know. We know marriage for both people. Okay. All right. We know. Okay. We get it. Okay. All right. Marriage is for both people. All right. No one's saying we're going to get married without you. Both people need to be ready. Right? Both people need to be ready. So if I propose to you, hopefully I've spoken to you. Hopefully I've had a conversation with you. You know what I mean? Hopefully I've had a conversation with you. Hopefully we are both in alignment with the situation. Yeah, at one point I may not be ready. You're absolutely right. I may not be ready. And when I'm ready, I'm going to propose. But the proposal should be coming after I've spoken to you. I'm not proposing out the blue. You know what I'm saying? I'm not proposing out of the blue. If people are proposing out the blue, that is nothing to do with even sexism. That's just stupid. That's you are in a relationship. How am I proposing blindly? You know what I mean? How am I proposing blindly? No one should be doing that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I get what she was kind of maybe trying to go out, but it's like, yo, sis, you might be just doing a little bit. Might just be doing a little bit too much. You know? You know what I mean? Listen, it's a lot. 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 Hey, it is mad. And let me show you some of the stuff that's in here, guys. You gotta be very careful on these. Look at this. Look at this other one. This is another post underneath it. Someone said, also, I just don't understand proposals. As a person, specifically a woman, I cannot understand giving up so much agency over my life that I'm waiting for someone else to propose marriage. How is it not a prolonged discussion? And how is it a binary answer? Kai. Man them, let's stay away from these type of girl right here, cuzzy. Yeah? Man them, let's run away from these type of girl right here, cuz these type of girl right here, cuz gonna have you spinning for nothing, cuz. Yeah? Deep woke fakeness and all this stuff for nothing. For nothing. What's going on here? It's like, I don't understand proposals as a person, specifically a woman. Darling, you're too deep. You are so deep, you are buried underneath all this soil. And you are struggling underneath the pressure. Darling, what's this? You are doing too much. You are doing too much. It's okay. Empress K says she's going to say no anyway. Woo, baby. Social media is one funny place, you know. You know. It's an interesting thing, you know. It's a lot. It's a lot. I want to see if there's any more responses. Let's have a look. Yo, some of these was a killer KO, bro. This is someone else. Someone else's thing. They said, "Amen." Also, extroverts, please understand that when you commandeer public spaces for your ostentatious displays of personality, you leave us with no option but to deploy maximum eye rolling and sotto voice snarkiness. So this is open up a really good section of conversation. Okay, this is open up a really good aspect of conversation. Why are we not having conversation to know exactly what you actually want? If you don't want to be proposed to ostentatiously in the extroverted commandeering public space style of proposal, why are we not discussing this? Why are we not discussing this? Who are these people in relationships that are just getting proposed to without conversation? Because let me tell you this now, if that is the case, more than likely a person's a manipulative person, and that's not the only thing they've ever done that's manipulative. That's a good question, Ladia. I'm going to answer that. That's a very good question, Ladia, as well. Right? If these men are doing this, why are you not having this conversation? Okay. Because it's the fact that people are trying to understand this conversation. Look at this. Someone said, "What if?" So I think it's a man. This is a man trying to say, "What if it's on during my own special event, like any of these listed? Could I propose then? Would it be negative because she might feel obligated to not bring down the mood, or is it okay? We've already talked about it, so I don't think she'd want to say no, but I'm curious." Look what the response is, guys. Don't ask Twitter for advice, man. Why don't you make it a significant event all on its own? Don't you think it's important enough to not tack it onto something else? Hey, these responses are killing me, bro. My husband didn't propose. We discussed marriage and decided to go for it. My current boyfriend is constantly talking about marriage, but will not propose. They don't get to decide the time frame. It's a decision to make as a couple. Huh? Woo! Hey, these streets are hot, blood. These streets are hot. This sounds like it feels like people are trying to really. It feels like people are really trying to really level the playing field, and there is no level playing field. We are not equal. I keep saying this, and you don't want equality. Okay, we don't want equality. We want equity. All right. We want equity. We want the ability to be able to have the same amount of chances or chance to be able to achieve the final result we're requiring. Look at this one. This one said, my husband didn't propose. We discussed marriage and decided to go for it. My current boyfriend is constantly talking about marriage, but will not propose. They don't get to decide a time frame. It's a decision to make as a couple. She's making it sound as if we're trying to control the thing. What kind of relationships are you guys in? What kind of relationships are you guys in? You know? What kind of relationships are you guys in? When I propose, am I not having conversations with you? Like, what is going on? Like, we're doing way too much to try and level the playing field. And look, when you're dealing with people like this, you just have to let them be pedantic on their own, man. You know? You get me? You gotta let people just. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I just can't, you know? It's crazy, you know? There's another one response. Twitter is a place. I'll tell you this now. All right. I'm always shocked that men proposing is still a thing. Don't people talk about marriage? Decide they want to get married, then go and choose a ring of or rings. Seems weird that women wait around for proposal and then are expected to wear a ring someone else chose for them. Hey, is this what the dating scene is like, guys, in 2022? It's the ghetto around here. It's what you guys are suffering with. Man them, I'm on your side, bros. Man them, I'm on your side, bro. This is woo. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah. Anyway, let's leave that alone for now. Let's leave that now for now, because that was interesting. You know, I'm sure we'll come across another one of those videos. But yeah, man, it's crazy, like, to see that obviously these relationship aspects as well, you know, and that's what I'm trying to say to you, that getting your advice from certain places will have you thinking that you're crazy. I'm telling you, people will give you some crazy advice before you know you're stuck somewhere. Right? Honestly, people will have you thinking you're crazy just by going on these social media sites. Anyway, again, I want to reset the room, guys. Listen, this is the night for you guys to come and ask your questions. Come and ask your questions. We want to, if you've got a dilemma, come on the live, come and say your piece. You don't need to come up. You just need to come up on here, say your piece. We'll have a dialogue and a conversation. Come and ask your questions, man. Come ask your questions. Ask a man what his thoughts are as well. I know we got a question here that was from Jay. When men get caught and recommit to the lie, why men get caught and recommit to the lie? Why do men get catch and recommit to the lie? Whew. I mean, that's a bit of a loaded question there, Jay. I mean, you asking some question there. Let's be honest. You know, men will tend to commit to themselves to a lie again because they believe they can get away with it. That's the honest truth. You know, they believe they can get away with it. That's it. That's literally it. That's literally it. Some people will honestly believe they can get away with it and they will continue to do it. Sometimes they think you're stupid. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes men think that think you're stupid, and you know what? She will have it. Yeah, literally it. So there's nothing too deep about this. Men lie, and when they get catch, it's because they believe they can get with the lie. What's this question? Someone said, why is it that some men, when they have been in a relationship or whatever portion, they do not have to do the work they did when they first got you? Hey, let's be honest, okay? If a man, and this is why I always say to man them as well, you know, it's why I say to the man them as well, you know, don't start too high, man, because you have to keep going higher. You know what I mean? But jokes aside, you know, why do men slow down on why they first got you? Well, I think the honest truth is that, you know, when you first get someone, you're in that honeymoon phase. You're in that I desire you phase. You're in what we call, trying to attain phase. And in that phase, when you're trying to attain it, what happens is, and I see the questions, by the way, I'm saving them, don't worry. When you're trying to attain the person, you know, you're putting a lot of energy and effort into going to get them, and then it gets to a certain point where I call it pleasure plateau. It's where after the honeymoon phase finishes, and things begin to plateau where you don't get the same high from doing what you did, right? You don't get the same high from doing what you did. This is where the guys will fall off. Now, so long as he's not a player trying to steal you and just trying to have sex, the issue isn't necessarily you. The issue is the fact that he may have either commitment issues, number one, or number two, he has commitment issues. He doesn't know how to commit very well, right? Either there's a fear that he will mess up, or there's self-sabotaging involved, which is that he quits the relationship early rather than staying in it because he doesn't feel that if he stays long in a relationship, he can make it work. So, or he may feel like, do you know what? Before you hurt me, I'm gonna get out. Right? So oftentimes this is if they do the most in the beginning and then tail off, it's oftentimes because they have commitment issues. And before it gets to a point where they're too attached, they remove themselves. Self-sabotaging. Right? Self-sabotaging. Jay said the same reason why women don't keep themselves up after they get catch. Yeah, we all do it, man. You know, we all do it. You know, we all do our little bit where we don't actually continue the same way that we started. You know, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard. It's hard to keep that same pace and energy, which is why I tell the man them slow it down. You're taking her to Paris on your first date. I need you to relax. You're taking her to Paris on your first date. I need you to relax, sir, because you're gonna have to continue that basis after this has happened. Can you continue that? Do you have the finances to do that? Do you have the money? Yeah. Someone said, "What if they're married coach?" Well, I think with you know, when the Greeks talk about let me put this up. I want to get the Greek definition. The Greek definition of and I'll say it's Greek definition, Greek types of love. Okay, because I think this is where it becomes difficult for people, but I believe it's a cycle of events, right, that need to happen. Let's have a look at this. I want to bring you onto this as well, guys, so you can see this. Right? Okay. So the Greeks, I think they were saying about 9 types of love, right? Okay, so let's start here. I love this as well because this is really cool as well. You can read this in your own time, but you know, I thought I'd bring this to your attention, right? So eros, sexual desire. Okay, this is where most of us are at the beginning. Okay, that's where most of us are in the very beginning of the relationship. That is where most of us are. We are in the eros love. We're in the sexual desire. We're in the you look bad. Your body's looking good. You know what I'm saying? Your bunda's looking bundering. Yeah, your chest is chesting correctly. Hair is on fleek. You understand? Yeah. When I look at you, I'm excited. Yeah, that's that beginning. That's that beginning. You understand? All right, that's the beginning. So that's the eros love. What it says here, they said obviously it's common to mistake lust or sexual desire for romantic love. Sexual attraction can be potent and overwhelming sensation and even fool the brain into questionable decision making. However, although the sexual desire is not a type of love in itself, it's frequently an essential component of love, especially between romantic couples. So, and this is important. Okay, all right, this is really important. Okay, that first part, okay, is beautiful. It's needed. Okay, then look at this: filial love, soul connection. Filial love is not relegated to non-sexual or non-romantic relationships. However, it's a vital component of romantic love between couples, and any connection without it is not likely to last. A love that features eros but not philia is often a possessive, self-centered love. I love that, man. So this love is a Greek word for love implies spiritual connection, trust, sharing of values. Philia usually grows between friends or family members. While it's not as overwhelming, euphoric, or exciting as eros, it's more fulfilling and rewarding in the long term. This is where this second part, where we have to start finding the tenues and the connections between us, right? This is the first part. In this part, when we talk about love, you have to now transfer from being the eros love where you're excited to now being about, and I think Lada just kind of said it as well, now we have to transfer into making some effort. Okay, and that effort comes, and this is, I'm gonna say something, right? This is why a lot of marriages fail. And someone's gonna say to me, but you've never been married, Kojo, how would you know? Because the foundations and the principles are the same, right? Let me give you an example. The honeymoon phase is critical. Yeah? It's not the be all and end all, but it's absolutely critical. And I'll tell you why. In the honeymoon phase, and I'm going to take this from a biblical perspective. For those of you who are Christians, you know what I'm talking about. If you're born again Christian, you know what I'm talking about. When God found you, when Christ found you, yeah, you went into a honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase was when you prayed, everything happened. When you read your Bible, it made sense. When you went outside, you heard the birds tweet and it made sense. A revelation came. You go to church, the message seems to be about you. You go to your friends, the friends are talking to you, and you're just like, that was meant for me. Everything is starting to make sense, and it's beautiful at first, right? You pray, it happens. And what's happening here is that God is building a foundation in the relationship between yourself and him. That trust is being built. What he's showing you is, I'm your provider, I'm your lover, I'm your carer, I'm going to take care of you. When you talk to me, I listen, right? This foundation is important because it helps to build for your future of your relationship, right? It's not to say that you know what I mean? The same principle is to be had for relationships. This is why when we see things on TV shows, right? When we see, for instance, Ayana and Jarrett, we say, raw. At the very beginning, it was like, wait, at the very beginning, we're looking at a relationship like, there's some things that were happening that were not, like, yo, there's some things in the beginning that weren't great. Now, this is important because what everybody is seeing is a poor foundation. And how do you build a good building with poor foundation? So the very people who survive marriage who have a bad start, it's because they go back to the very beginning and fix and mend the foundation. What is the foundation? The foundation is building blocks between me and you. That is the interpersonal connection, the soul connection. What are your likes? What are your interests? What is your ambitions? What's your goals? Just the mental, the emotional, okay? The spiritual connection. Intimacy, I should say, even. We have to start learning about one another and finding our common ground. When we find our common ground and our mutual interests and things that we may not like, but actually we're willing to complement, these are the building blocks, right? If I know that you like chocolate, I'm like, okay, maybe I like sweets, but that's fine. We can complement one another. I now know you like chocolate. I'm going to buy you chocolate in future. I know that you like your coffee in the morning black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn that and be like, she likes her coffee black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a loving act and get her coffee in the morning black and give it to her. Because what I'm doing now is I'm building a foundation of trust. You see, faith is confidence, but trust. It's confidence and trust that helps us have faith. And see, faith is also the proponent, the energy source that keeps the relationship going. But to have faith, you have to have confidence, you have to have trust, and you build confidence and you build trust, which is why an arranged marriage can work, because the whole point is that it doesn't necessarily need eros love at the very beginning. What you do need to have is a building block of foundation of get to know you. So filial love is important. I need to get to know you, which is why your relationship with your brother and sister or your mom and dad works beautifully. You don't need to love them and fancy them. Sorry, you don't have to fancy them sexually. No, right? And the relationship is amazing. Why? Because you have spent time, you spent energy, you've built connection, you've made sure that you guys have got to know each other in and out over a period of time. And this is what it's saying. So whilst filial love is good, it's amazing. Find that person attractive by all means. Get attracted to that person. Like them, enjoy them. and by all means, we wanna see that. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, so yeah, it's cool. You know, I got no problem with that at all. So that's the next part that needs to move into, right? Okay, let's go quickly because I've got someone behind the scenes here as well now. Storge love is devoted love. Okay, can be classified as a variation of filial love and usually related to love within a family. While the care and devotional storage love is an integral part of filial connection, it may also be one-sided. An excellent example of storage is storge love. I think it's storge. Storge is when a parent cares for a child, makes them feel secure, comfortable, and safe, doesn't expect anything in return. Although storge may seem like an antidote of eros, they both tend to be highly natural, biological, and instinctual. Storge usually occurs between married couples who are raising a family together. This form of love is valued in Western culture, particularly within Christian faith. Love that as well. All right. So there's another aspect a little bit later on within the marriage, having that love as well. Right. Pragma love, mature love. Although probably the least exciting type of love, is an essential component of making relationships work in the long term. Pragma is love based on duty. Listen to that. Pragma love is based on duty, reason, and shared goals. Like philia, pragma is not limited to romantic relationships, although it's a vital part of romantic love. It's essential within families and even close friendship. Examples of pragma manifestation are personal sacrifices for your partner's benefit, making life and career choices that are best for your relationship rather than just for yourself, and carrying out daily chores and tasks needed to maintain a happy home. Look at that. Look at that. I know it's a bit small. Sorry. I need to make it slightly bigger. But look at that. Right? That is beautiful. All right? That is beautiful. All right? Beautiful. So pragma love focuses on the duty, reason, and shared goals. Right? That's what it focuses on. Yeah? That's what it focuses on. Right? Fantastic. All right, number 5, Ludus, playful love. I'm a big fan of Ludus love. I love Ludus love. I think Ludus love is amazing. Probably gets me into trouble, but yes. It's another Greek word for love that's perhaps a polar opposite of pragma. While pragma is long-term, cerebral, and based around responsibilities, Ludus is carefree and playful love. This is why I believe people cheat. This love here is why I believe people cheat. Honestly, I believe this is why people cheat. Right? The ability to be carefree and playful is why I believe a lot of people cheat. Because a marriage, a relationship long term, is sometimes heavy. Yeah? A lot of responsibilities, a lot of a lot of duty you got to do, a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis, right? But when you get to Ludus love, oftentimes you're meeting somebody else who makes you feel free, light, new, sexy, makes you feel like, you know what, no burdens. And that's why you see in these situations, especially with a side chick girl that's involved, why these men will end up telling these women all their business about their relationship, because there are no responsibilities. And so you get gassed thinking, oh, I'm gonna leave my wife now and go to the side chick. Or for women, I'm gonna leave my husband and go to this woman. You know? Right? And so now, okay, and now what happens is you go with a side chick or side man, and you have your affair, and you're thinking, this is amazing, it's great. And then when you actually get into a real relationship, reality hits. You're in the same cycle once again. Okay, so imagine a hedonistic, casual relationship that's focused on fun, living in the moment. You'll have an excellent, example of Ludus. It's often expressed through flirting, teasing, seduction, and casual sex. Ludus love is fun. Okay, Ludus love is fun. I'm telling you, Ludus love is fun. Okay, so it's important that you actually have this in your relationship. You cultivate this in your relationship. Which is why when people are highly critical or people are highly sensitive, it becomes very difficult because you remove the Ludus love. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. This is really important. If you're too critical or your person is too sensitive, this ludus love is an issue. Yeah, it's an issue. I make one joke, you're saying, "Oh my God, my feelings." I'm not saying that you shouldn't take care. I'm just saying that you should have a discussion with your partner. There are certain things that you shouldn't be joking about. Okay, let's be honest. But I'm saying that when there's too much sensitivity or when someone is just too critical, you remove the aspect of their being able to have jokes or anything, right? You remove that aspect. So yes, you want to have fun, you want to tease, you want to flirt, you want to be seductive. Don't be a prude, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a prude. If you're a man or woman, don't be a prude. Open yourself up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Send your wife, send her a nude. Or maybe not a nude. Send her something sexy. Tell her, when I see you tonight, it's going to be on. You know what I'm saying? Send a little naughty pic. You're married now. Okay? You're married now. Do something fun. All right? You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, hey, some of you are not young anymore. You can't do this, but maybe some of us were young. We went to the store, and we're in the changing rooms. Ludus love all over the place, mate. Just doing madness, right? It's all a bit of fun. Yeah, it's all about having. You know what I'm saying? Some of you need to stop being so restricted in the bedroom. You don't even want to introduce toys. You're scared that the toy is going to replace you. Stop that nonsense. The toy is not going to replace you. The vibrator is not going to replace you. The dildo is not going to replace you. You are not going to be replaced. Enjoy, have fun, explore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? There's Kama Sutra there. Go and read Kama Sutra. Learn about these things. Yeah? You have to use different things. Right? Come on, you know what I'm saying? Make it spicy. You want to do dress up? Do dress up. You know what I'm saying? Feel free. It's your marriage bed. Your marriage bed that's undefiled. So be free. Let the ludus love reign. Flirt a little bit. Send a little message. I'm thinking about you while I'm at work. You're here in work mode. You don't even want to send a message, babe, I'm thinking about you. In the early days of your relationship, you were saying, I can't wait to see you tonight. Now it's 2 years in, 3 years into the marriage. What are we eating for dinner? Come on, spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Spice it up a little bit. Send a little message. Tease them a little bit. Flirt a little bit. Hi. Give them something to remember that you are something, Yeah. Let them know, man. You know what I'm saying? Have a little, tension. Come home, put it on him. Yeah? Ladies, when he comes home from work, put it on him one time, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Let him know that, listen, you still got it, man. Guac 3000. Let him know you are still levels. I'm just being real. Like, it's like, we get, and it's easy because it gets monotonous. Like, you get stuck in the routine and you just do what you come home and do the same thing over and over again. Just do something. You guys have been young before. Change it up a little bit. Especially when the kids come, you're going to really suffer. So, practice the ludus. Flirt, tease, be seductive. Huh? You used to run your hand on the thigh as we watch the TV show. Now, TV show comes on, you're out cold. Ah! You know what I mean? Give us something. Let us, let's be excited. That's man them and women, not just man them. That's not just man them or just women. That's everybody. You know what I'm saying? Go to Ann Summers together. I don't know if you guys Americans have Ann Summers. Probably your store is called something else. Go to Ann Summers together. Let them see you, Christian or no Christian. Let them see you in Ann Summers looking for underwear. Yeah, it's not a sin. Go into Ann Summers. Go in there, see what kind of panties are there. You know what I mean? Yeah, Victoria's Secret. That's the one. Victoria's Secret. Yeah, thank you, sir. Victoria's Secret. Go in there and see what they're offering. Ask her, babe, what do you like? Let me buy it for you. We set a date. We're gonna go and we'll set a date, nice date. We start sending each other pictures before the end of the day. When I come back from work, I'm ready. I'm hot. You're hot. I've set you up nicely. The house is clean. It's done because everybody's done their chores for that week. We know we've set the date time. Kids are at our grandma's. Or they're at our aunties or something. Tonight, we're going to enjoy. We're going to play, have fun. Gonna take us back. There was days you guys were playing board games or whatever you guys were doing for fun. Do it again. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you gotta, and I'm saying this so that I remind myself, like, when I get to a relationship, don't get boring, man. Don't get monotonous. Don't get boring. Let's do something fun. You know what I'm saying? Naomi, yes, video call. Hey, video call. Say, babe, you're looking good. What are you wearing? I should still be able to say what you're wearing in 10 years' time. In 20 years' time, I should be able to say, so what are you wearing? What you got on? Hey, you know what I mean? Yeah. She. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't forget the Quack Quack 3000, guys. Okay? Alright? Don't forget the Quack Quack 3000. Okay? Yeah. That's it. Alright. Mania. Obsessive love. Have you ever met anybody obsessed with a particular individual to the point where it's unhealthy, and maybe you've even called them a maniac? Greek philosophers label this type of love as mania. It can be combined with sexual and hedonistic eros and ludus, but will hardly accompany pragma or philia. Mania often manifests through anxiety, emotional instability, jealousy, and possessiveness. Well, I don't think we need that love, bro. These days, mania and derivation manic are used in the field of psychiatry to describe components of certain mental illnesses, as well as used in less formal setting. Well, bro, we don't need to know about that kind of love. That's not the love we need. Okay? That's not the love we need. Okay, but it's not a love about a relation. This is about, that's thingy. Okay, so amphilitia, I don't know how to pronounce these words, but y'all can see it. Okay, it's a prerequisite. Okay. Someone said keep scrolling. I said, yeah, let me keep scrolling, because that kind of love, you don't want that love, guys. You don't want them crazy over you. That's not the kind of love you need. But it's someone says keep scrolling, bro. It's not the love that we need, man. Do you know what I mean? Okay, cool. But this one, yes. This one says, healthy self-love is beneficial to every aspect of life, including relationships, and individuals who love themselves are usually more capable of giving and receiving all kinds of love. Many destructive behaviors in a relationship can often be rooted in lack of self-love. However, self-love can quickly turn into an unhealthy form when a person loves themselves more than they love anyone else. Unhealthy self-love can be expressed through an inflated ego and usually dependent on social status, abilities, or accomplishments rather than genuine virtues. Healthy self-love is defined by self-esteem that's not dependent on status or competition with others. Instead, it is based more on forgiveness and acceptance of self. People with healthy levels of self-love are not arrogant, and do not hold themselves superior to others, but are resilient and accepting of their limitations without feeling ashamed of them. These people are less likely to seek external validation through compulsive behaviors, and as a result can devote themselves better to relationships. Love that. You see that right there? That self-love is what we need, okay? The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, if you don't love yourself, how will you love your neighbor? Isn't it? You know? If you don't love yourself, how would you love your neighbor? You know? I remember some time back, some preachers were preaching saying self-love is evil. I used to look at them like, because if you love yourself, you are not doing what God. Man, if you don't keep quiet over there, if you don't know the truth, don't keep quiet. Don't talk on it. Like you need self-love, yeah, not narcissism. You need self-love, because in order for you to give out, I need to love myself first. How am I going to love you? If I don't know what love is myself, how would I love you if I don't know love myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to give love, you know, of course. But if you don't love yourself, you can't give that to other people. So in a relationship, in a marriage, this is particularly important. Self-love is needed. And self-love not based upon my worth to you in the marriage, but just in my own individual esteem. How I value myself. Outside of you, outside of us. How do I value myself? That's important. You know? That's important. Okay? Yeah. And the final one is agape love. You know, I know most of us know this as well. Unconditional love that's not dependent on any external factors. Acts of charity and altruism are often born out of agape love. It seems fair to argue that society without agape would be unable to function, as we are dependent on one another as species. Agape is the least selfish form of love and does not require anything in return. However, it does also often result in immense benefit to one practicing it, not just in terms of people reciprocating it with love or rewards, but benefit for the mental and emotional well-being of the practitioner. Practicing agape love can often increase self-love, and higher levels of healthy self-love usually result in increased ability to feel and show agape. It's a cycle. Greek is one of the richest languages in the world with extensive vocabulary. However, love is often more complicated than words can describe. Although Greek philosophers attempted to classify different types of love, in reality, its forms and manifestations tend to blur and blend in various combinations. Thankfully, there are many ways that you can nurture and cultivate these, leading to happier and healthier connections and more fulfilling life. Knowing Greek words for love and recognizing different types of love may help you improve yourself and your relationship, and I'm sure your partner will appreciate a cup of tea to prepare with Maracai. Okay, so agape love. Yeah? Agape love. That's the real one there. Okay? Y'all already know what it is. Okay? Y'all already know it. What are the Leos doing in the chat? The Leos are doing stuff that they should be doing in the chat. Anyway, let me get my brother on to get his thoughts. Graciousness, what are you telling me, bro?
Hey, bro, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. You're goody.
Okay, big up, big up. Well, I just wanted to hand you your flowers and say big up to you for, always holding the fort and doing things upon this YouTube, you get me? Because I know sometimes it can be a madness here still. So, yeah, shout out to you, man. Especially at these times of night, man. For us, man, in UK, it could be difficult. But, shout out to all them in America. But, yeah, now what I was going to say is when somebody drops the question about whether or not, or why is it that a man starts off doing something and then doesn't continue it, my point that I wanted to add is that basically the market, right? The market that we're in now, where people are seeing from things like social media and online that people are getting flued out and all that kind of stuff, the market is kind of determining that in order to impress a lady, or a man, a gentleman, needs to do outrageous things in order to impress her. So he's already going to start himself off on the back foot already because he's going to try and want to impress you. And then now, in order to try and keep up the facade or the reality of things, he's going to be finding it difficult. So he will quite potentially drop off at some point in time. If it's taking him a lot of thought or it's taking him a lot of energy or he's, having to, I guess maybe if it's depending on what sort of guy it is. If he's a serious guy, but he's got other things that are going on who are draining his time, then maybe he's not going to be able to have the propensity, to continue to devote so much time to, impressing or, giving a great date or something like that. Obviously, if he's a, waste man, otherwise known as what people call earth boys and things like that, then obviously he's going to have a different agenda. But the difficulty is, sadly, sisters are trying to decipher and discern who he is and what kind of character he is and what his intentions are. So, but even as I'm saying, because things can be changing for a brother, because obviously life is not linear. Life is always a trajectory that's changing, and we're going down different streams and different timelines. And therefore, he could start off because maybe he had some period of time, and maybe he was off work at a period of time, and maybe that's why he started off. But later on, maybe it's a case of he's more busy now, and he's back to working full time and riding as well. Then. I'm not trying to give excuses, but I'm just trying to give an explanation. Do you get what I'm saying? For somebody who is a sensible guy, who's not a waste man, aka, F-boy in that situation. But somebody raised a good example of, that sometimes sisters start off doing something, but then they kind of, drop off as well. And but yeah, I was going to ask. So. Because of, again, referring to the market, yeah, as in the kind of time and the day and age that we're in, and what we're seeing on Twitter, right? Based on some of the posts that you put up there, some of those tweets, yeah. What would you? Or I would just like your advice now, because I do kind of have a slight dilemma, and the dilemma is, I'm kind of a shook one. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll be honest, and I'll say I'm a shook one, and I'll say that unfortunately, I'm asking the Lord to help me with it, but there's some sort of unhealthy root of fear somewhere from seeing, probably from, I guess, way back, you get me, childhood maybe, but also there's a possibility that, seeing these things online nowadays could just add to it, and a brother will be like, what is the point because even though yes, I could have been eligible maybe a few years ago, maybe because I've seen and I've looked and I've seen how Twitter is, and I've seen how, you know, I've heard, you know, through some of the TV shows that are out there, like, you know, Maury and all the rest of it, and people always complaining about men being this and men being that. Because the thing is, whilst you're growing up as a child, and this is not to knock, you know, single mothers and things like that, but I understand that sometimes young boys who might, I'm not saying all, I can't, you know, I'm not going to make a sweeping generalization, but I can understand how little boys while growing up can internalize the very thing that their parents are complaining about when they're saying, oh, men aren't good, men aren't this, because a little boy could be saying that, oh, well, I'm going to grow up to be a man. So, you know, and not really understanding and comprehending how, you know, how they could try and make themselves better. And then sometimes it's, you come out into society and it's like you're trying your best to be, you know, an honorable, respectful man, but then society is then now referring to you as a simp or whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like we seem to be going from one extreme to the other. We went from extreme discipline back in whatever, the 70s or whatever, and then now we've gone into, you know, sometimes we've gone into extremes where we lack the balance as a society to be able to, you know, to be able to instill value. And I'm just trying to think of it now. If a young boy was growing up now and he's seeing toxic masculinity and it's kind of the messaging. And I'm thinking, right, how many loud voices are out there to be able to teach a guy what it is to be a good man, to be an honorable man, and to be a respectful man, and to stay away from some of these toxicities of being an F-boy or being a simp, you know, because that's seen as derogatory in society now. And how do they decipher all of that to be able to become a self-fulfilled individual, you know, a mature individual without going down some of the toxic, you know, lifestyles that some of us, you know, started going down when we were growing up, if you get what I'm saying. And then therefore, how can, so that's my first question to you. And then also, how can one overcome some of the fears that one has, again, you know, when they've seen the Me Too movement and, you know, all those kind of negative messaging that seem to be there, and, you know, it's seeming that men are toxic and men are seeing themselves as not useful, and they're wondering, okay, so what is the point in my existence? Sometimes they're contemplating it, and that's probably why I think there's a grave increase in suicides overall. Nothing against the sisters. I mean, I want them to be happy and fully thing as well, but I think, you know.
That's cool. First of all, I appreciate you sharing that, bro, and
Cool.
it's never easy as a man as well. Like, you know, coming through and sharing your heart as well. So again, this is a safe space, and I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and sharing your heart as well. In regards to your question, let me take the second question, because I think that's a bit more easier to break down. And the truth of the matter is, we're all different types of human beings, right? And not every human being has the same disposition, right? So the ways that we operate can be very much different. First and foremost, there's a confidence, is built upon something that's a bedrock in your life, right? You have to take your confidence from somewhere. Everyone's got confidence from somewhere. Some of us we build our confidence because we know we're smart. Some of us build our confidence because we know we're into sports and we're good at it. Some of us build confidence because we're good talkers, we're eloquent, Of course, the natural thing is most of our confidence is built from our environment and how we grew up. You know, where we invested into, where we spoken into, where we encouraged, where we supported in our childhood. That's the first and foremost. That's the first and foremost part of it as well. The main thing for yourself, I think, going forward is, in all honesty as well, is that the starting block is asking that question: where's my bedrock? Do you understand? What's my anchor that will allow me to be confident? I can build my confidence upon. So if you're a Christian, your bedrock is Jesus. If you're not a Christian, your bedrock is literally things that you do. You know what I mean? And whether people like or not, your bedrock will be what you actually do. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't have anything else. It's materialism of this world. Whether it's your job, whether it's your skill set, whether it's your ability to love people, whether it's something that is going to be physically tangible, or at least to some degree that becomes your bedrock, that gives you this confidence. For us who are Christians, our bedrock is Jesus. You know, for us of us, you know, that's our anchor. And so whenever you feel like you're nervous, like for myself, I realize, and this is me personally, that when fear is coming, it's because I'm anticipating a rejection, and that's the hardest thing. So anticipating the rejection, right? I don't want to be rejected. So if I do something, I'm scared that someone's gonna feel some type of way about maybe me doing something or whatever, and I'm gonna feel rejected in that moment. Therefore, my body then instinctively says, "Don't do this because you'll be rejected." For instance, let's give an example, right? Let's do this example. You're out and about and at an event. There's a bad girl that walks past. In your head, you're like, "I want to approach." In your head, you want to approach, but then the other thought comes and says, "Yeah, but if you approach, bro, if you approach, it could be a dirty one." You know, you know, So the thought of the rejection oftentimes overwhelms the actual particular action that one wants to do. So sometimes you have to outthink yourself by not thinking. That's the honest truth. And like someone in that particular example, like for instance, if you're going to approach somebody, you have to outthink yourself. You have to outthink yourself by not thinking and doing it, you know? So when that fear is normal. It's not that fear is normal for a lot of people in different areas. We all have our own fears in different areas. The word that you have to focus on is courage, which is the ability that even in the face of fear to step forward. So it's hard. It's hard to to overcome that fear that one has in terms of the rejection. But I would say this as well, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this. You know, when you get rejected, after you finish, it's never that as bad as you thought it was, right? And that's the same with anything in life. When you go for it, and let's say you failed, it's like, actually, first of all, I've learned something from this. Number two, I've got some experience. But actually, three, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be much more worse than it actually is. And I've come out the other side, and actually, I'm better for it, right? Now, obviously, in terms of, again, coming back to yourself personally, there are little things, just like I said about relationships, building blocks for confidence. You also have to build building blocks within yourself as well, which is, unfortunately, you're going to have to do tiny steps, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Because you have to train yourself to say, the fear I have for rejection is not going to hold me back. So for instance, let's say for instance, we're going to take women for instance again. I think it's the easiest one to kind of do, innit? You want to approach a girl. Okay. Maybe in this instance, you know what? Maybe the first one, it might not be that you approach her and be like, you want to talk to her about getting a number. Maybe you just approach and just have a conversation. It's like, hey, how you doing? And if it bombs, it bombs. Bro, you're not going to die, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And once you have that, I don't know how to explain this, but once you've had that first one, it's like there's a buzz that normally kicks in. It's like, well, I didn't die. All right, let me go and have a conversation with someone else. And you can build this up literally, maybe not even talking to a woman, talking to a random person. Hey, how's your day going? You okay? This is actually part of, I don't know if you ever, there was a book back in the day about I think it was called How to Be a Player. And it spoke about these things, about building your confidence, that you start off small, having conversations with people. Just having conversations with no agenda to get into anything, but just having conversations. And then what that does, it just puts you in a place where you're getting more confident just talking to people with no agenda, right? Like for instance, and if you approached a woman and there is no agenda of being in a relationship or liking you, the rejection piece goes away because you've taken away the agenda. It's the agenda that causes the fear to happen. Because like if I ask her to get her number or get her Instagram, the issue here is that I could get rejected on this. But if I go there and I'm like, hey, how you doing? You cool? Just wanted to just have a conversation. That kind of fear gets removed. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Maybe I didn't articulate myself well enough.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's cool. Maybe it's not really the fear of rejection. I mean, that's calm. That's something that all of us brothers kind of experience. I think it's the fear of commitment and the fear of the unknown, I guess, and the fear of, you know, what can possibly happen in the future in a relationship, you know, that people change over time, things change and things like that. So yeah, sorry if I miscommunicated that to you. So
no, that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate you sharing that again and clarifying. So for you, you're talking about actual relationship and if it doesn't work out potentially.
Yeah. Because I was just like, I mean, let me be honest with you. So okay, obviously I'm older than what I was, but like, yeah, in the past I was just like, sorry to say, but I was like, bun relationships, man. I don't really think. Sorry, I hope it wasn't the derogatory term, but anyway, I was like, yeah, don't bother about relationships. They're probably just not going to turn out as favorably as one would expect. So I was just like, nah, allow it, man. Man's going to go Charlie Monk on this. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. I know it's a madness to hear, man, but there are some, I mean, not all, but there are some brothers like, and that's the thing. There are different types of categories of brothers out there. So sometimes it's like, you know, certain brothers are like, they contemplate and then they're like, right, everyone seems to think we're like this, and everyone's saying, and everyone now online, everything is a sweeping generalization of the whole group, you know, whether a brother is obviously because we tend to, you know, especially in the UK, we tend to obviously piggyback or listen to and incorporate a lot of what is happening with our brothers and sisters in other parts of the Western world, like America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll kind of, and other parts of Europe as well. So we'll kind of build our ethos kind of secondhand off of a lot of things that are happening there. And when we're hearing about some of these, you know, I'm not against them. I mean, I'm not FBA, but when you're hearing some of these diaspora war things that are going on, and then also the whole gender wars that are going on online, you're like, what's the point, man? Man was right, you know, like, allow it. It's just long because, you know, everyone's talking about cheating and everyone's talking about, you know, and there doesn't seem any real positive messages that are out there. I mean, what we really need as the loudspeakers, kind of, you know, if I'm gonna echo what I think it was one of the videos that you reacted to, which was Anthony O'Neill and not Tony Gaskins, but the other brother. What's his name?
Antonio was Stephen Speaks.
No, not Stephen Speaks. No, not as in basically not the other. No, okay, not RC Bakes, but it was Tony Gaskins. Sorry, it was Tony Gaskins. Basically, where he was saying that brothers, them or men. Sorry, I need to stop using the colloquial terms so that my American brothers and sisters can understand where I'm coming from. But Tony Gaskins was basically stating that men should stop taking advice from single men, and in the same way that certain sisters need to stop taking advice from their single friends who don't have the right intentions for them and their relationship and want them to remain single because they're feeling, you know, because they've got envy or they're jealous that if they do get into a long-term healthy relationship, then they would leave them to the lurch and they wouldn't spend enough time, you know, a lot of time with them as they previously did. So in the same way, what we really need is representation and loudspeakers in some of the Black communities, both, you know, worldwide, is we need those in healthy marital relationships to actually have the floor and to be the loudspeakers of what a relationship is, rather than single folks being the guru of, you know, giving all this advice when really and truly they're not really living it themselves. And yeah, sadly, they're just spewing rhetoric, which is not, you know, enhancing or incumbent of edifying anyone else, really. But it's not really helping for us to contemplate what the real strategy is to getting a nuclear family and a long-term relationship and happy, healthy, you know, conclusions for a marriage, really.
No, I definitely agree that. Just as Tony Haskins kind of said as well. For you per se, I guess my question would be, what have you seen in
Okay.
childhood that's caused the image to be distorted? Because what you're describing is what happens to people, which is a confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is that what's going to happen is what you've heard, what you've seen from a child being confirmed as you get older. I mean, there's some truth to it as well. It's been confirmed, but there's a bias because obviously it's got an angle to it. That's what I mean in that sense. So, for you, what have you seen that has now been compounded by what you've seen in life, or I should say, in as you've grown up, that solidifies the fear to be almost true? Do you know what I mean? So, what have you seen per se?
Okay, so I've seen, because I've been always been an observer of people since I was
Cool.
young. I've seen, unfortunately, broken marriages, breaking down in relationships, from the 80s, 90s, and even more recently. Yeah, I've just seen not the best not the best results. I've seen some great healthy marriages. Don't get me wrong. That was kind of later on in life, when man was now grown up and whatever. But also the other thing that I was going to piggyback and say is I remember reading an article. I think it was again over here. I think there's some show on the BBC about marriage. But rather than it being, rather than it incorporating what you just said, like, the ludos, which is basically the spontaneity or the spice in marriage, it was showing marriage as being very monotonous, very mundane, and very kind of, you're just going through, sorry about me changing accent, but it's just kind of like, oh, you're just going through you're just going through the thing in it, like, you just going, you're just passing the time really, but there's nothing really, it doesn't really have that je ne sais quoi, it doesn't really have that life and that joy in it anymore. It just seems to be kind of like, and I'm going to refer to another, a movie like Groundhog Day, like every day's the same and every day's, very ritualistic, very robotic, and that's it. And nobody really wants to live like that, let's be honest. And you were right. I mean, kind of, with some of the Greek definitions that you were given with regards to the different types of love, they are so vital and so required, and a combination of them are so required as well. Some of that ludos and some of the, obviously agape, not some of the other extreme ones like the maniac one or no, one that goes somewhere else, but obviously also the friendship. So adding friendship, like somebody who you genuinely like, as well as the ludos, as well as the agape, can help a long-term, relationship to thrive, a covenant relationship, because it should be covenant relationships that we should be striving for, really. Just as it says in Ecclesiastes about a threefold cord. So yeah, thanks be to God for that. But yeah, sorry, to answer your question now, and I hope I answered it. It's basically seeing breakdown in relationships, seeing kind of cousins and relatives going through it, because of the breakdown in relationships, and just being, seeing the consequences of how divorce and whatever has just run rife in some, in some family settings or those who were closely associated with me. So that's what kind of made me think like, this thing is not real. It's just fairy tales, like, allow it. And that's what I kind of decided as I was growing up. So, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like, I'll make a deduction. It sounds like obviously you saw some relationships up close and personal. It had a certain outcome, and that also then meant that you made a judgment based on what you had seen and observed, and from that judgment, you've grown up with that particular report card of relationships that are supposed to be intimate, loving, caring, and to kind of, I guess, protect yourself. Now you're thinking about now you're thinking about commitment being in a particular way, if somebody can actually be committed long term because of what you've seen. Would that be
Yeah,
fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the sometimes seeing that I've seen some elder men who I have known of trying, as far as I'm aware anyway, putting my hands up, trying to satisfy their wives and trying to, as far as I saw anyway as a child, very childish observations, but trying to give their wives the world, but never really being able to come up to much, or never really seeming to satisfy. And I don't know, obviously there's nuance to it, because there might have been things that I was not privy to in their marriages. I wasn't with them every single day, 24/7, 365. Do you get what I'm saying? But I was kind of like, oh, but he seems to be trying. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm comparing it with some of the others that I had seen, because I saw, again, us being Africans, we tend to see, we tend to have more of a community back then in the, in the 90s and the early 2000s, so I was looking and observing that, and I was thinking, okay, at least these people are still married, and this, the husband still seems to be trying. I mean, whenever I come here, I see him, and I see him trying to play with his kids and all the rest of it. But even then, for whatever reason, it still seems that some of those aunties or other relatives were not happy either. But again, as I said, there might be nuance to it, and there might be complexity to it that I just wasn't aware of because I wasn't there and I didn't know. And again, I was observing as a child, and I couldn't see the whole overview of what may be occurring. Maybe they might be behaving a particular way when they have guests, or when everyone else is outside of the house, they might be doing something else. I don't know.
No, I definitely hear you on that. And listen, that's a real fear for a lot of us men, man. That, you know what, if you see a man trying and then it fails, I think men are more afraid of women than women are. I think we just need to see one where we think a man tried and he gets done dirty, and that's because of the way our egos are. We don't we don't want to get taken advantage of. We don't want to get hurt. We don't want to get broken. We don't want to ever feel like we lost this battle. Do you know what I mean? So I get that as well, and I can see how that can impact as well. I mean, saying that, obviously, did you have a different narrative, or did you have the same narrative when you dealt with women? As you grow up and you got to an age of being able to date and stuff, did you have the same narrative that you saw? Did it confirm that narrative, or did you have a different narrative when you when you actually went into dating?
Well, wanting to put my business out there, because this is on the YouTube streets now.
You don't have to say the whole. You don't say the details. You just say
yeah.
whether you saw the same thing or you didn't see the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Let me be honest. I think my bias kind of made me avoid some of them things there. So yeah, how do I put it? I would say partially my perspective changed, but partially I was like, because at first I think it was kind of what you were saying about the Ludos, where it started off being nice and being sweet, because obviously they were a new person, someone that I didn't know. But then later on, I think I think kind of like what you said about the honeymoon period. There was a honeymoon period, and then later on, I guess, kind of like the answering the question or what we said earlier about why is it that men start off doing things and then dropping off. I think the honeymoon period came to an end. I dropped off, and then it was kind of like what some brothers do before before Valentine's Day. Like, you drop it off and you're like, no, calm, it's the 10th of February now, like, no, I'm not doing cuffing season no more. I'm now single. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
I get you.
Yeah, because I think my bias eventually kicked in, because for whatever reason and that's the thing. Sometimes when you see a baddie, as you said, you think you know the person, or you observe certain traits and you observe certain tendencies about the person. But sometimes, sorry to say, but for some brothers, it's an illusion. They're not actually seeing the person. They're just mesmerized by the beauty and and the mannerisms, or how the person is composing themselves or contorting themselves at that time. You see, so I think that's how I was.
Oh, sorry, go for it, bro.
No, that's fine. I was agreeing with you.
No, yeah. Listen, yeah, you absolutely. I mean, look, in all honesty, it's treacherous and done, yeah. But these situations, I would say, is as we're talking about in regards to what you're talking about, this is where we all have different work rates we're gonna have to work on, right? Because depending on our starting point when it comes to things, so the starting point for yourself is gonna be slightly different to other people's, right? So, for instance, the difficulty is that when you get into first into a relationship, there is a driving force that propels you forward, which is the honeymoon phase. It literally is a energy source that's putting a battery in your back, right? That you can recover from any argument quickly. You know, if she's done something, you're like, okay, let it go, let's recover and move forward. All that kind of stuff is a battery in the pack. The after point though, like you're saying, because of the history of what you have seen, one of the most important things you're gonna have to focus on, right, is actually genuinely building a connection with that person outside of sex, outside of lust, outside of ludus love. You're gonna have to build a connection outside of that. And the reason being is because in order to develop a relationship that's tight knit, you're gonna have to literally build the bridge between you and the person. Now that's also the part where you're gonna have the most warfare, because as you're building that bridge, your mind is also gonna tell you, well, if we build that bridge and it fails, then we're done for. The truth of the matter is there is nothing guaranteed underneath the sun, first and foremost, right? But secondly, in order to have a strong foundation, we're gonna have to build the aspects that make a great friendship, which is interpersonal attributes. So I need to focus on getting to know you as best as possible, and not focus on, are you a baddie? I'm not saying that you said this, by the way, bro, but just need to focus on whether you're not the baddie thing is not an issue. Of course, you want to find a person attractive, absolutely, but you might have to spend a little bit more time than other people do, so that you can make a trusted decision in this aspect. You may have to spend a little bit more time asking genuine questions about what's your intentions, what is she about, what's her ambitions, what's her goals, what's yours. And you've got to know exactly what you want to go, what your goals, ambitions are, and your needs are, so that you can be in an alignment. Then here's the hardest part of it all. The hardest part of it all is after the honeymoon phase is done, that's where the work starts. That's where the choice starts. Now here's the difficulty. Choice. Some might say we all have choice and it's free to choose. I'll agree to a point, but you would choose based on your preference and what you have a liking for. And it is very hard to choose other if you're not used to choosing other. It's a bit like saying, start drinking water from now on. Don't drink no alcohol, don't drink no sugary drinks, don't drink nothing, just water. Now, at first, when you start, it might be okay, but after a while, you're going to be like, can I do this? Like, you know what I mean? You have to consistently choose water. But it becomes easier when you begin to practice adding water little by little, right? When you phase water in, it's much more easier than doing a whole dead drop and going straight to water. And so this is also the same thing in relationships as well. What you're talking about in terms of the fear that a relationship will fail, more than likely, I can almost guarantee it probably shows up also in friendships. So you might have one dedicated friend who you know has been there since the day dot, so you can trust them. But other people, you won't trust them, because you're like, yeah, this relationship could fail. This relationship could fail. So your biggest thing now is actually practicing friendship with people in general before you even talk about relationships, because then that will be your starting block of drinking water on a regular basis. So that's where the focus will have to be in terms of practicing. Because if I say to you, oh, the next girl you got, do this, you may fail, and then you will be really hurt. Rather than that, there's a safer bet. There's probably a friend or somebody that you know or someone that you're cool with, that the relationship could actually be better if you decided to put a bit more effort into it, where you're going to overcome your own shortfalls and go, actually, do you know what? I know probably the friendship might fail, but do you know what? Let me try and make this friendship better. I'm going to input more energy into it. And then you'll be able to see the results of that relationship. If it fails, at least you have the results of what went wrong. And then you can start making adjustments. But if you get into a relationship and do it, listen, you may come out that relationship unscathed. You may not, but it's more risky. That's a very risky investment. rather than doing it with a friend. Do you get what I'm saying? So I can almost guarantee there's probably one friend out there that you know is holding you down for absolute nothing, and it's you that are boys, one or two guys that one are boys. It's not a thing, but there's probably one person also out there too, who you know, if you put in more effort, the relationship could be better. It could be probably better. It could be more sweeter, but you know. I don't want to push myself out of comfort zone. What's the point? I'm not dying. You know, it's not like you're, off me the most anything crazy. But I guarantee if you put a bit more effort into it, you got it, bro. I know that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. Thank you very much for that. I don't know what relationship that's going to be, to be honest, because I've got a bag of man that that I'm close with still. Obviously, platonic. I mean, I don't swing the other way on that. But
yeah.
No, but yeah, no, it'd be interesting for me to pray about and discern like which one of my bros that I need to try and support a bit better and put a bit more effort and energy into, really, and pour into, of course, because I don't know what he's going through. So
That's
yeah,
discernment's good, bro.
Thanks for that. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go because man's gonna be working in a few hours. Yeah, it's
bro.
late and man needs to sleep. So yeah, man. But thanks for all that you do, man. Big up to you still, and yeah, please, big up to you. Go to America, do your thing, yeah. But please don't forget about the UK, bruv. We need some of the wisdom in some live. In some live venues somewhere, like you can do your Birmingham one and then have one in Manchester or something, bruv, man. It's all over the place. There may be Liverpool, and then maybe somewhere down south. Like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. I mean, you don't have to set out the O2 now at first, but but you can have like a small venue where where we can start and where and then we can build up little by little like that. You get what I'm saying? So
I agree that.
Like we would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, please don't abandon the UK. I know we're a small island and everything, but please incorporate us in your plans, brother, as well. Yeah, and big up to everyone in America, all the states, A-Town, all the different towns, Delaware, wherever, Chicago, Chi-Town, wherever, Detroit, Michigan, all of them. Big up to them, man. Anyway, I gotta go. Like Good night, people. Peace out, man.
I appreciate my G, man. Blessings to you, bro.
Blessings to you as well, bro. Much love. Peace.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, guys, that was good, man. Love that kind of conversation, man. And as men as well, we also got these things. And do you know what? I love the fact that he was open, and we need more men like that, man, who are going to be open and real and just tell the truth about how they feel and what they're going through, So yeah, that's how we grow. That's how we move. And as I gave him that advice, I was like thinking about myself. I've got some work to do myself. I've got some work to do. Let me tell you something. I've got some I am emotionally avoidant at times, bro. Like I've got room and capacity for one friend. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I got one friend space. The rest of y'all will get my time sporadically. So, but that's the emotionally avoidant. That's an emotional avoidant situation as well. So, yeah. I just I'm gonna have to work on mine too, man. I gotta work on mine too. You know what I mean? Because I'll be like, when people try to get close to me, I'll be like, if you don't chase me, I'm gonna quit. So I don't stress myself, man. I'll be honest with you. If you don't chase me, I'll be like, it's up to you. It's up to you. I can live my own without you. So I'm not gonna die. You know what I mean? I'm not going to die. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So yeah, it's not easy out there, it's not easy. Tanamika said that's where she left for her. Girl, do you know what? I'm even the worst, man. I could be honest with you, I'm the worst. Do you know why I'm the worst? You will contact me, yeah, and we'll have the most amazing conversation at first. Amazing. You'll be thinking, we're gonna be the best of friends. And then the second day, I might be dodging you. I'll be like, I don't know if I'm tired. I had a long conversation. I don't need to have another conversation today. And really, it's just because I don't like being rude and telling people I don't have the time today. You know what I mean? But I can struggle sometimes with that as well. Do you know what I mean? But when I'm cool with you, I really am cool with you. You know what I mean? When I'm cool with you, I'm really, really cool with you. But when people first start, like I remember one of my guys, I remember one of my guys, when I was one of my best friends back in the day. The only reason why we were best friends is because he reached out to me several times. I remember at first I was like, this guy be calling me, bro. Like, he be calling me. And I think he called me like 4 or 5 times. And he reached out to me. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's cool. Like, let's read. All right, let me. And when I really deep what it actually is, it's just because I don't like rejection, number one. And number two, I just don't have the, you know what, sometimes not the capacity. Sometimes I'm like, I don't, yeah, you know, do I really want to start up a new friendship here again? It's like, bruh, like, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're reaching out to me, you know, I'm gonna be just doing I'm in my own space. Like, I can go days, maybe even weeks, I can say, and not chat to buddy. And then I can ring you and be like, nothing ever happened. Like, never ever, there was no space or gap or time, you know? So it can be like that, you know? And so it can be like that. Sometimes I can just be like, you know? Sometimes I just be like, it's what it is, man. You know what's there? Sometimes like, why am I stressing? You know what I mean? Like, why am I stressing about work? Like, why am I stressing about you? Like, no, man, listen, life goes on. I'm going to make it. I'm low-key very independent, and part of it is good. Part of it's really bad as well. You know what I mean? Part of it good, part of it is bad as well, because, you know, it's great when, you know, when things do happen. You know, it's great when, when you don't need to, when you need to self-regulate and be on your own, and you know, life is happening. But sometimes it can be bad, because sometimes you can reach out to me and I would look at the phone, I'm like, I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the energy for it today. You know what I mean? I don't have the energy for it today. Yeah. Listen, Jay knows I'm the worst sometimes, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm the worst sometimes. So, you know, yeah. So, like, I don't know. You know, definitely avoidant attachment. Yeah, that's my attachment style, avoidant attachment. So yeah, I can, and it's like, and I think, yeah, Coco just kind of said it as well. When I get stressed, yeah, I just want to cut everything out that requires energy. I want to focus on getting that problem sorted. I don't have time. And the issue is, again, it's disappointment. It's the truth of the matter is, it's disappointment. I don't have to ask somebody for help and you're going to tell me no, or I'm busy right now, or I don't have the energy right now. I don't want to hear that right now. I've got to sort this out. And sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time asking you because I've got to get this sorted, and it's stressing me out. So let's get it sorted. But, you know, it's, it can be that, it can be like that sometimes, sometimes you just sit and you're there, and so sometimes you're there, and, you're just like, oh, the situation's hitting you, and you're like, I ain't got time, bro. Like, yo, I've ever come and asked you a question and you're going to tell me something. I haven't got time, man. I've got to get this sorted. You know what I mean? So sometimes that can happen as well. Yeah, so that's a realistness, you know what I'm saying? A realist thing, you got me? Realist thing. Someone said, could that also be considered a control issue? Well, absolutely. You will end up a controlling situation. You will end up trying to control your environment, because what you will do is you will limit how much people can get close to you, because you feel like your energy is going to be drained. So of course it will end up literally, you will end up in a place where you will end up not necessarily be controlling, but you want to control what's around you. So you keep people at arm's length, like, I would like, sometimes it'd be like, how do I explain this? Like, okay, so like, for instance, like, now one of my guys was here in it, and he's kind of like, he's gone back to his own home. He's gone back to another town, innit? And it's like, we were boys, innit? So we'll just roll together every day and everything like that. But now we're not in the same town and everything. We're not together all the time. I'm like, okay, so who'll be close to me again? I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter. And that's how I think about things. It's like, because people come, they go, and it's like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lot, bruv. Yeah. Someone said it's not always good. It's not always good, you know? Yeah. It's not always good. Yes. Anna said, do I have a Patreon? We do have a Patreon, but I don't really use it too tough. I need to use it better. I have a Cash App, guys. Listen, if you got, I got a Cash App. You know what I mean? I joined Cash App, guys. So if you feel the blessed, you guys have always been asking me, do I have a Cash App? I've Cash Apped for you now. Okay, all right. I don't really use Cash App really either, to be honest. But if you're feeling like the Lord is blessing you, if you feel like the Lord is leading you, if you know, then let me know. Okay, if you feel like the Lord is leading you, all right. But yeah. Someone said time for an agent. Lol. Time for an agent, baby. Okay, time for an agent. You know, but yeah, no, these are the real things. These are real things that are happening, man. I'm trying to remember some of the stuff that, as an avoidant person, also we get I get emotionally overloaded. Emotional overloaded, yeah. And when I get emotionally overloaded, I just want to be in my own space. It gets too much sometimes. Yeah, it gets too much. Sometimes I get. Oh, Charlene, did it reject? I'll check my Cash App and see. Sometimes it gets too much. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is too much, and I just want to shut the whole world down. It gets, yeah, overstimulation. Thank you. Yeah, that's the correct word. Sometimes it'll be too much, and I'll be like, oh, I can't take any more of this, you know. So yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes it'd be too tough, man. Sometimes it'd be too tough, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I just think to myself, sometimes you sit there and you're like, doing these talks must be extremely draining. Do you know what? These talks are not that bad. I won't lie to you. And I'll tell you why. I think because this is what I love doing. So I don't mind this stuff. So I don't mind this stuff at all. You know what I mean? And it's because no one's telling me what to do. Do you get it? No one's telling me what to do. No one's telling me I have to do this. You know? So for me, yeah. Oh, that's why. Okay, why is that? Hold on, guys. Okay. No, that's my name. Little Black Book's the name. I don't know what's going on there, guys. The Cash App is Little Black Book. Anyway, yeah, but listen. Yeah, so the doing this is not really a problem. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a problem with doing this because I love what I do, and it's a pleasure. Do you know what I mean? But it's when, like, how do I say this? I think when I get tired when I think the reward doesn't meet the work at times, and if there's a demand on that time, and yeah, if there's a demand on that time, let's say, like, for instance, like, let's say, like, I'm not making enough money from YouTube, and then I'm getting requests for money left, right, and center. Then I'm like, ooh. Then I'm looking at my work like, okay, this is stressful. Do you know what I mean? So those things are a situation, but the work itself is not a problem. I could do this for hours and feel no way about it. But yeah, I don't have the. Dahlia said something recently. She said, good question there. She said, obviously, get overstimulated and ignore all text and emails. Yeah, that's me. That's me. That's me, 100%. That's me. I'm the worst. And on Instagram, I am the worst. People message me and I'll say, hello, how you doing? And then when I say, hello, how you doing? After that, no message back for the next, like, 12 hours. I'm like, oh, my bad, guys, sorry. Or I might not reply for the next 3 days. Then when it gets to a day, I'm like, oh, my days. yeah, it's been a day now. What do I do? Do I just respond? Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, do I respond like now or, it's been a few days now. Yeah, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? We're looking at it like, I haven't replied in the last few days. Sometimes I look at sometimes I look at the WhatsApp and I'm like, I haven't replied. Whoa. Or sometimes I'll start a conversation. Hey, hope you're good. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, what's been going on with you? Da-da-da. What's going on with you, coach? No reply. It's been a week. You know what I mean? It's been a week. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, it can get like that. Jay says she replies in her head. I think we all do. I think we all reply in our head, don't we? We all reply in our head. That's for sure. That's for sure. Why my Cash App not working? I don't know why my Cash App don't work. But yeah, man, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. Let's see. Someone else said something. How much does people pleasing affects a relationship? I'm working on this now. I think it affects greatly. It definitely affects relationships 100%. Yeah, it definitely affects relationships all the time. Because I think when you look at situations, you have to ask yourself the real question as to whether you are doing what you're doing for the person because you genuinely want to do what you're doing, or you're doing what you're doing for the person because, or whether you're doing what you're doing for the person because, you want to be liked, and it's a very difficult, place to be in. It's a very difficult place to be in. It's difficult to deep whether it's one or the other. You know what I mean? It can be tight to kind of really deep it. What I would say is though that it's very comfortable, sir. Trust me. What I would say in terms of obviously how people pleasing affects a relationship is that any form of rejection of your people pleasing becomes very painful. So like, let's say you did something, but you really wanted to do it because you wanted to be praised, you wanted to be appreciated. Then it really hurts, because what happens is your motive isn't pure. You're not doing it just for doing it. You're doing it because you want to be liked, or you want to be appreciated or praised. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so let me give you an example. I started doing something like, sometimes I'll send some money to my dad and I'll tell him, send it to this person at church. I'm not saying any names, but I'll be like, send it to this person at church, but don't tell him it's me. And the reason why, again, because sometimes what happens is, I know part of my people pleasing, energy is that sometimes I might do something, but it's just because I want to get either praised or liked, or I want to be able to receive some adulation. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll be like, no, don't tell them it's me. I don't want any message back. Just send it. Do you know what I mean? But how it affects, and if someone's put it there as well, which is really important as well, is that you want to avoid conflict. You don't want to mess up things. So my people pleasing, how it came about, how my people pleasing affected my relationship was that instead of actually being truthful about how I feel about situations, I wouldn't do that because I didn't want to hurt the person's feelings. Because what I didn't want is them to also hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? So, but it was more about, again, they had a motive behind it. I didn't want to get into any situation. I didn't want to be, I don't want to come off as saying how I feel, because I don't want to come off as rude, because I don't want to be disliked. Do you know what I mean? That's what people pleasing does to you. It stops you from being, as someone said it in the chat as well, it stops you from being you, but it also stops you from actually articulating how you actually feel, because you're afraid that if you tell them how you feel, you will be rejected. You'll be disliked. You'll be unwanted. Right? So in order to stop that feeling, what people do is they tend to not say anything, or they'll do something that kind of like, pacifies the situation. Yeah. So the people pleasing, it happens a lot, man. If you're a people pleaser, it happens a lot. It's so easy to get stuck into that. I'll be honest with you. It could be so easy to get stuck into that people pleasing aspect. Joe just said, I feel like I need to work on my social media communication, but I just don't like to be bothered sometimes. My isolation borders slightly unhealthy. Hey, listen, I hear you. We all been there. Sometimes we just don't want to engage with social media, Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes when a post goes viral or something like that, sometimes I'm like, then you get all these messages. I'm like, oh, I'm not responding to all of them. Sometimes I see my requests on Instagram. I've got so many requests on Instagram. I look at it and I go, I ain't replying to that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's very true as well, Coco. That's very true. Sometimes you end up being the bad guy who thinks he's a good guy because you're not being honest. It's actually true. You actually rob people of being able to experience you in the fullest way. By you not being open and honest and vulnerable about how you actually feel, you rob people the opportunity to get to know you appropriately in the realest way. You know what I mean? Now we're getting the fake you. No. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, that ain't it, baby. Ooh, that ain't it. That ain't it. It's hard to be honest if you people please later may cause resentment. That's true as well. Because you're not telling the truth about how you actually feel. Man, I used to do that a lot, man. I can't lie to you. I used to do that a lot. I used to be scared of saying how I felt. I didn't want to offend anybody. I just didn't want to be disliked. I didn't want to be told, oh, you're not nice. I really didn't want to be told you're not nice, or told that you're not a nice person, coach, or you're not cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I didn't want to be told those things. So, boy, it's like they. Oh, I found a video. This might be interesting, guys. Oh, you might have to reply to this video. Cool, Chile. Guys, that might be a local video, Oh, let me bring this video to you guys. Oh, hold on. Baby, stop that. Oh. Oh. No. There we go. I'm gonna bring this video to you guys, you know what I mean? Someone said I'm doing the Lord's work. Sean, boy. Right, hurry up. Hey, let me show you a video I'm just looking at. It's come up on my YouTube. And maybe I'll respond to it maybe another day. But hey, mercies of God. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Look at this video here, guys. Hey. Oh, my days. Oh, I took it off. In this life, fear people. Oh. In this life, fear people. Okay. I just come across this video, guys. I don't know what's going on. The title of the video is "My husband ran away after I brought him to the UK." Hey, the struggles of single mother in the UK. My God. That's a real thing there, Dahlia. That's a real thing right there. I can't lie to you. Real thing right there. Let's see this video.
Oh yeah, I sent him documents to come. He left Olena in Ghana, and since he's been here,
he's Ghanaian. Oh my days.
I've not set eyes on him. He doesn't support me with childcare, nothing. I do get depressed sometimes because Trust me, childcare in this country is crazy.
Said it before.
Hey, stop that.
Already trusted by 4 million into the person's mobile money account or bank account.
Hold on.
She's been here.
I went to my superiors and I explained my situation to them. I told them I'm a single mom and I'm working full time, and I had to, go to work. So I honestly didn't know how to juggle, caring for Lena. And then my superiors, apparently there is a trust guideline on that. I was referred to it to go and reach.
Wow.
And it talked about flexible shifts. So initially, I chose working from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I want to get to that
Friday.
story. Sorry.
Stressful than doing long Friday night. No one stresses me when I get to work late on that. So why don't you access the intranet and then that case to play with? She gets.
I need the story.
You be at work and you be thinking about stuff. Are they more treating her? Information on us. Yes.
You are a strong woman.
Well,
Where is the story?
at visas to expire.
Oh, there's
I don't
no
know if you watched. I just posted it.
I can't bother to search. There's no story, man. They're talking about single motherhood. I wanted the actual story. I actually wanted the whole story, B. I wanted that story. It's story me. Alright, listen, my 2 hours are up anyway, guys. Listen. My 2 hours are up. We'll be back on Sunday, innit? You get me? We'll be back on Sunday. Where you guys can come in and talk some real stuff, you get what I'm saying? But listen, it's been a good talk, man. I've been appreciating, man. You guys give me food for thought, Lady and Son. I think we're having it in Alfreda. Alfreda, yeah, we're having it in Alfreda. So Lady and Son, Alfreda, that's the area it's gonna be. Do you know what I mean? It's Alfreda. Listen, for those of you again, don't forget, guys. Don't forget. Okay. All right. Don't forget. We're gonna give you the link for the tickets again, guys. It's Alfreda for ATL. We'll tell you about New York, but Alfreda for I believe. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Sean, am I pronouncing it correctly? Sorry, Thursday. Yeah, back on Thursday then Sunday. Sorry, guys, but Sunday for this particular thing as well, man. And then we'll have this for this particular talk again. But yeah, if you guys grab your tickets for your tickets for use tickets Alpharetta. Is it Alpharetta or Alpharetta? Alpharetta. Okay, Alphabeta. Beautiful. All right, so the ticket link is in the description, guys. As well, make sure you grab your tickets as well. Someone said, did I call it Alfredo? I did not do that. Alfredo. Nah, man, don't worry, man. It's 4 in the morning. Oi. And hey, listen, guys. Listen, it's been amazing, been great. I'm gonna get some sleep now. But we're back on Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be back here as well. Actually, sorry, I'll be back here tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow because I'm doing Tough Love review as well. So we'll review that because the new episode is out, and then we'll talk as well. Someone says, sing us out. 5 in the morning. I thought we should be singing those songs. Yeah, I'll do a live stream tomorrow for Tough Love, the TV, the web series. It's been really cool actually watching Tough Love. I can't lie to you, man. I've enjoyed it, man. Tough Love. So, yeah, baby. 5 in the morning. It's actually 4 in the morning, but. Alright, appreciate you guys. Be easy. What 90 Day Fiance? Oh, I don't think I haven't done a live because I did the videos separate this time. So I don't know if I'll do a live on that show. I got to do Love and Marriage Huntsville, so that's tomorrow as well. I need to do that as well tomorrow for you guys. Someone said, can you address Mike from the RTL? Called you out. I can indeed. I will address that in a separate video. I'll definitely address that as well. Definitely will address that. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We gonna see you soon, baby. We gonna see you soon.